What is going on? Welcome, my wonderful Truthseeker Nation. Good morning. We just woke up not too long ago here. Just out here chilling, man. Chilling, being one with the Most High God of Israel. Okay. You know, as usual, all praise. Had to come on here, had a good breakfast this morning. Had to come on here and talk about some things. You know, push forward, the kingdom of Heavenly Father, in these last days. And we staying strong, man. I'm going to go ahead and encourage you guys, continue to encourage you guys to stay strong in your faith, man. And, I want to talk about, in this episode, we're going to give you guys some encouraging, enlightening words. I ask the Spirit come through today in understanding the time that we live in and the days that we are facing as God's people, okay, Yahweh's people. And guys, it's crucial that you understand about these secret organizations, about what happens, what goes on behind the scenes, because a lot of times Lucifer works through these organizations and through agents, and what you guys have to understand is this Freemason stuff is a very big part in why a lot of our people and why a lot of the house of Israel is having such a hard time and under oppression, okay? And in order to stand strong against it, we need Heavenly Father, we need the helmet of salvation, we need to follow Yah's laws, okay? Because, this whole Freemason infrastructure, when it comes to not just Freemasonry, but the secret organization infrastructure, is all geared around blaspheming Heavenly Father and trying to work and snake around, certain laws to get God's people caught up into, legal matters, or whether it be anything of the world, man. This is why we flee from things of the world. We seek the things above. I want to encourage you guys in the book of Timothy, where Paul talks about not seeking the riches, man. Run from those things. Run from the riches, dude. I'm not saying you can't have a little bit of money. You got to have a little bit of something to, take care of your daily needs or whatever you need. But, only what you need, man. I'm going to tell you something. It seems like the more money you have, the more problems it is, man. What I'm also going to highlight too, man, is a lot of the house of Israel is under oppression with some of these jobs, bro. I'm just gonna be real with you, man. It's all because it's not that we can't do the job. It's all because to just be frank with you, people hate us, man. Either hate us or they just don't like us, and it makes the job more difficult than it has to be. And it's not about no hatred or whatever it is. It is what it is. We're not like a lot of the times we're dealing with a lot of devilish matters with this stuff, man. Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get some water here. Hold on. Welcome back, guys. Excited to give me some water here. So, I'm going to go into that, man. I'm going to talk a little bit more about, House of Israel oppression, man. What we deal with. This is why, we have to let a lot of things go. We got to let Heavenly Father handle a lot of things, man. Okay? A lot of times when it comes to getting this currency, man, you got to be careful, because the more money you have, it seems like the more problems, man. A lot of agents are working behind the scenes to mess us up, man. Through this surveillance state that we live in, we spied on, watch her everywhere we go. Our lives are, looked at. And that's okay, man. This a sacrifice that we make for Heavenly Father. In my current situation, I know the Most High has been with me, man. Time and time again, each and every day, Heavenly Father's there with me, man. Even where I'm at right now, I want to say we surviving here, man, but this is lit, man. Being out in the forest, being with, Heavenly Father, and a lot of people don't understand what we're doing. They'll call us dumb or stupid or any of these other kinds of things, not understanding and looking more into the person's situation. But a lot of the times, people don't need to do that, to find a reason to not like you. And it's all the devil that is working behind the scenes because of what we have exposed in the system, in this, Luciferian system that we live in. And so we got to take it in stride, man. We take pride and, we're happy to not have no record and be caught up in all this kind of nonsense with man's law and stuff like that, man. You know, a lot of times when people pursue these legal matters and all this other kind of stuff, it's a huge headache, man. Huge headache that you don't need. And not just legal matters, but just anything of like to get you a lot of money or comfort in this. I mean, it's just like, you know, man, you know, this it's hard for y'all's people, man. You know, so this is why we gotta live according to y'all's law. We gotta live according to the 10 Commandments. And we got to take heed of what Yah is saying and the warnings that are all throughout in front of our faces right now, guys, on how the world is and how America is and how it's slowly becoming China. And people are being oppressed and people don't know that this nation is slowly becoming China because they don't bother to educate themselves. You have to educate yourself on what's going on in this world. Otherwise, you're going to get swallowed up by the devil, man. Okay? It's very crucial. Okay? Me, myself, I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for spirit. If it wasn't for Heavenly Father, okay, you know, and we come on here, we do the Most High's will. I enjoy coming on here doing these videos, okay, you know, getting some stuff, you know, cranked up, you know, geared up for you guys, man, okay. So, you know, whenever you see this video, oh, I do hope you enjoy it, man. I hope it gives you an encouraging word to get in prayer in these last days, because I'm gonna tell you something, man. Things is getting bad. Really bad, man. It's really bad. You know, we have a hard time at the workplace and all this other kind of stuff. You know, it's really sad on what goes on, man. You know, this is why a lot of you ladies and gentlemen out there, you know, I'm not hating on you if you got a job. It's not the job. You know, you're a good worker. You know what I mean? It's the simple fact that, you know, the devil wants to make it hard. You know, you want to make it hard for you at the workplace because you're making his currency. You're trying to make his currency the honest way. You know what I mean? You're not out there doing a whole bunch of garbage and all this other kind of stuff, wasting time, not being able to promote the Most High God's kingdom, man. Okay, the Most High God of Israel. All right, kingdom of peace, tranquility. You know, it's the peace beyond understanding. Okay, you know, this is why in Timothy it also talks about in the last days there'll be lovers of money, man. You know, scoffers. You know, people who don't understand what we're doing, what we're doing. You know what I mean? And that's okay, man. You know, honestly. It gets to a point, man, we just gotta pray for our members, man. We gotta pray for these people. You know, a lot of these folks don't know what's going on in this world. This is why we're doing this. You know, people don't know what's going on in this world nowadays. So, you know, it's better to just, you know, keep the peace over the paper, man. You know, a lot of times people seeking all this money and stuff, that's not gonna be the answer, man. That's gonna be game over because, you know, honestly, if you know, trying to strive to, you know, not all you're done, man. You gotta put the money aside. Seek first other things, man. I know a lot of people gonna tell you money makes the world go around, but let me tell you something, man. You know, it's hard to make money these days. With, you know, honestly, bro, it's hard. It's hard. You know, the devil's made it that way. It makes it hard, man. You know, when you go in these workplaces, you get talked about, all this other kind of stuff, because people don't understand, and you have to be willing to do that. You know, it's not throwing no shade or nothing like that. It is what it is, man. You know, it's not throwing no shade at all. It's just that, you know, it's bringing awareness to you guys on if you're serving the Most High God of Israel, you'll have a hard time in the workplace, man. You'll have a hard time, you know. All because the devil's working and we you know, we're spied on just like the Truman Show, you know what I mean? And a lot of the times, even when you go to the workplace, it's not you know, a lot of upfront stuff. It's a lot of underhanded, you know, subliminal stuff that is happening, and that is you're put in situations, and the job is purposely made difficult for you, and you're not given all the tools and resources and training that you need do these jobs. You're kind of just thrown into the wolves because they know, man. They know, you know, the Most High is with us, man, and they don't like the Most High. You know, whatever it is, whatever it may be, they've been influenced. You know, things have been said about us to get people to hate us, and that's okay, man. I mean, like, you know, rather just be hated and get away from people, man. You know, I mean, hey, I'd rather be with the Most High. You know, because I know that that's my salvation. That's my survival. You know, Heavenly Father's been looking out for me, providing for me in ways that even I don't understand. Okay, but I'm so appreciative and so grateful for the things that's provided for me. okay? and understanding and blessing of wisdom, man. And so this is why we need to get in prayer, because otherwise, you're not gonna understand what's going on. You're not gonna, you're gonna get swallowed up by the devil's snare, be caught up. Oh man, I just thank Heavenly Father for being with me, man. It's great serving a master in heaven, because it doesn't matter where you go with these jobs or whatever it is. Of course, Heavenly Father says let's obey our masters. Absolutely. We do that. We don't, because we're just there to get a little something to survive and go home. That's what we're there for, But then, see, this is what I said, man. We obey, you know what I mean? And that's all good. It's peaceful, it's peaceful having a master in heaven, man. Because we know that it doesn't matter how we treat it. It doesn't matter how anybody treats us, man. We know that we have the Most High to lean on and go back to. We know that, the angels are looking after us, specifically, the archangels, man. Okay, we guide it on a daily basis. I love doing these videos, and it's just about calling out and pointing out things, pointing out things for you guys to be aware of in these last days, man. On why it's so hard. You try to get a little side job to make you a little change, because you're just trying to survive. You're not trying to do any of that wicked stuff, any of that other stuff. Because what happens is with a lot of these corporations, man, there's cliques that's formed and stuff is done behind the scenes. People getting some extra cash. What's the extra cash that they're getting behind the scenes other than working a job? You wonder why people have all of this money and there's so many not so many jobs for people to actually work and make a living. You could barely even keep your bills paid and everything turned on when you're working a job, man. So that should tell you something right there. That's why people are turning to wickedness, because they got other side projects. Just like the dude I know, he said it straight up. He was working a full-time job, buddy. He was talking about how, this is a little extra cash. We're working a full-time job over here, busting our ass, and he's talking about some extra cash. Whoa, there's something else going on behind the scenes. And I'm not hating on you. Got a business, you doing whatever. That's different. Okay, you can have another honest side gig, but I'm talking about in these last days, man, there be some wicked side gigs, man, that's gonna blaspheme Heavenly Father and doing something to somebody. And see, we can't do that, man. We can't be falling into that. This is why the honest ways of making making money at these gigs is just, it's hard. It's extremely fucking hard, man. I'm just gonna be real with you. Excuse the French. I just had to, I have to use that wording to stress that specific thing on why it is so hard. Okay, guys, why it is so hard. We want to take heed of the scriptures. We want to put filthy talking out of our mouth. We don't want to do none of that, But I do want to stress out and stress what we're going through. What you'll go through in these last days, man. That's all. So it's just about being aware of that. And so we need salvation to be able to help us with these things. Okay, we need to read the scriptures. All right. Don't just go to church on your Sunday evening. Read. You know what I mean? Educate yourself on the great reset on what's happening, man. Because if you don't, it's really bad, man. And so I just want to share this as a testimony. Thank Heavenly Father for helping me handle all the hardships, man. That's been transpired. I'm still here. All right. I am, man. I'm still here. We still breathing. I'm still fighting for the Most High. I'm still fighting for spirit. I'm not stopping that. I'm not stopping it, man. I'm not stopping it. Even though the devil makes it hard, and whatever we go through, enduring a lot of stuff, man. Long suffering. And so we love Mother Earth, man. Mother Earth has been looking out. It's just wonderful, man. Life is good despite all this stuff in this world. See, life is good because of the Most High. Life is good because of spirit. Life is good because that's where it's attempting. Well, I don't want to say attempting, but it's seeking things of the skies above, man. Because you start understanding that once even basic things that you need is tied to this Lucifer's currency, man. And so with that being the gateway for you to live, that's why it's made so hard. Because they know that it's tied into their currency, and the people gotta eat, and they use that to get food. You know what I mean? So then life is made purposely hard for people because we advocate and being for the Most High, man. You know what I mean? So, guys, I want to encourage you, man. You know, don't be throwing shade at nobody individually. Don't do none of that. Don't even waste your time. Let people hate you. Let people laugh at you. Do your thing. You know, choose the peace beyond understanding. Choose the side of the divine to help you handle and deal with these things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, man. Align yourself with the divine. Don't do any of that witchcraft. Don't do any of that stuff that Deuteronomy warns us about. Heavenly Father warns us about all these things. This is why we deal with what we deal with, man. Heavenly Father warns about this, man. It warns us to stay away from this. This is why a lot of the house of Israel has been led astray, because of all this New Age crap. This New Age stuff is not going to get anything done. All it is just keeping you in a loop, the same way the deep state is keeping the people in and not being straightforward and not highlighting specific organizations. They just call it a generalization of the deep state. Okay? This New Age and some of this religion, man, it's the same thing. It's going to lead you astray, and it's going to tell you you could do some, you could do some things and like that and believe in Heavenly Father. Nah, man, you can't. You can't be messing with none of that stuff. I had to learn that. We had to continuously learn that, man. We can't mess with any of that stuff. None of that witchcraft, none of that tarot, none of that. Just stay away from it, man. Just stay away. Because if it's going to lead you astray, it's going to blind you. It's going to make things, the devil will say it's going to make it easier. Okay, but it's not, man. It's not. You're going to be, yeah. See, man, you know what's going on in this world right now, man, is the currency that's tied to everybody that you got to eat and that you have to get some things that you need. It's tied into the devil manipulating people into giving them a false sense of security. So, yeah, you may have a decent amount of currency, right? Let's say you have a decent amount of currency. You got a home and stuff like that, okay? But then you're going to struggle and fight with depression, eating garbage, okay? Turning to other drugs and things of this world to try and find peace and satisfaction, okay? But guess what? They've blocked it off, and they've made it that way. This is why people are turning to wickedness. This is why all these things are going on, man. Okay? And this is why Heavenly Father warns us to stay away from that, because you know what? Even though we struggle to make this currency, Heavenly Father still makes us a way, and we have still provided the peace beyond the understanding, because we are aligning with the Most High God of Israel. We are with the archangels, Mother Earth. We are with the divine. We, get assistance and salvation and the eyes to see, to navigate this world that we live in, man. That's getting really messed up to where you can't make it. It's getting, I ain't gonna say can't make, but it's getting extremely difficult to, make this currency. And even then, just work these regular jobs. And it's not hating on the jobs. This is what I'm saying, man. A lot of us, we are hardcore. We're workers, man. We don't mind working for the Most High. We don't mind having the mindset to work and, ball bust. This is what I'm saying. But at the same time, the ball busting, it's not a lot to do with the job, man. It's a lot to do with the humans, man. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. The ball busting is made a lot more difficult on purpose a lot of the times, man. So that's all I'm going to say. That's all I want to say. I don't want to highlight that, man. This is why we have it is a difficult time. So that's all, guys. You stay strong and encouraged. Okay, there's nothing to lose hope about. Okay, you guys continue to rock on. We're up to 20 minutes. I love you guys, man. You take care. Doing work for the Most High. Okay, staying strong, taking it day by day. It's a blessing to wake up, man. So, guys, you continue to stay strong in your faith. Take heed of what Yah says in what's going on in the last days. And take heed of the warnings, okay, that are told to us. And guys, you take care, man. Stay strong. This is Truthseeker. You have a heavenly, divinely blessed day. This is Truthseeker, signing out of Truthseeker Nation. You guys take care. Bye-bye.